Hello, and welcome back to another episode of You Are the Masterpiece, where we are coming together just to give you some value and understand that you can be work in progress and the masterpiece in the same time. And if this is something that you're just tuning in for the first time, hello again. My name is Irina Portnova, and I'm a manifestation star. Because let me tell you, we are all manifesting all the time, but a lot of people do it unconsciously. They just allow the life happen to them without realizing that they can actually be an active participant in that. So I teach people how to do it more consciously and how to create exactly the life that you want rather than just going through the motions. And I'm today have an amazing guest, Brendaliz Acosta. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Welcome
Yes.
to the stage and tell a little bit about yourself and what you're doing in this world.
Oh my God, there's so much going on my side of the world. But first of all, I am known as the master of burnout. I'm also known as the breathwork expert. And right now, my focus is on helping leaders. And it could be leaders in corporations, or it could be leaders in small companies, or leaders on small business owners that are transitioning into that leadership role, help them become legendary leaders. And that includes so many different dimensions, right? It includes how they show up in their life, but also how they show up as a business owner. Um,
Mm.
I'm really excited about that part. At the same time, I help people manage stress, and I do that. And I have the breathing lab, which is an amazing space for people to come in and learn about breathing techniques and practice. Because practice is, and we're going to talk about it in one way or another today. When we really practice, then it's not a hack. It is not a life hack, but it's a way of living. So
Mm.
yes, it's all
I
about.
love it.
Mhm.
Yes, I love especially the name Breathing Lab. Yeah, so cool.
Yes.
And let's just tell a little bit about the something, the project that's brewing. And we decided to do something together, Brendaliz, right? As we were pondering how we can put both of our energies together and amplify it in the way that we can impact more people. And we decided to go on the platform called Clubhouse. It was Brendali's idea and create the audio event that we are planning to run twice a month, where we are building the community and bringing like-minded people who want to grow with us, who want to learn more about the breath work and how we can combine breath work with manifestation in order to align our energy and create everything what we desire. Brendaliz, you want to add something?
I think what I love about it is a couple of things. Number one is that we're combining two things that are super essential in today's
Mm-hmm.
world, because we either are victims of our lives or we take control over them, right? And then at
Mm-hmm.
the same time, we're creating a space where people can come in and talk about, ask questions. It's a space to learn more about how to combine breathing and manifestation together.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and I love working with you. I think both you and I have a very unique energy. And when we get
Mm-hmm.
together, I feel like everything explodes. So
Mm-hmm.
I love that. And I am really looking forward to the potential of it. I think we are in a world where people are becoming more and more aware that
Mm-hmm.
they have control over their lives. Funny enough, like we're talking about legacy, the topic of today, and what I'm
Mm-hmm.
now, some people
Mm-hmm.
might think it contradicts itself, but it doesn't. So yeah, I think we're doing this in a good moment in the world.
Mm-hmm. I love what you share. And for anybody who's tuning in, the registration link is going to be in the description. So just join us. Let's have fun. Let's all just create that momentum and understand that we are not alone on this journey. There is a lot of help. There is a lot of love just going through all of us. And let's connect and let's have something powerful together. All right. Without further ado, let's just move to our topic today, which is your legacy has been written. And Brendaliz, that was your topic. And let's just dive in because I'm also curious to learn more about it.
So it's funny because I do say that the topic kind of contradicts what we're saying, that you can manifest everything. But I want to take a step back. When I say your legacy has been written, is each individual that is in this world today has a purpose, has
Mm-hmm.
something they came in this life to accomplish, and that's our legacy. That purpose is written. And although through the years in life, our purpose evolves, and that's perfectly fine. But how do we tap in living and embodying our purpose so that we are living the life that we want, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
a big portion of it is understanding that even though our purpose is written, how we get to there, it's all up to us.
Mm-hmm.
and
Totally.
some and some people might get there in this lifetime, some people might not, and that's okay. That's part of our each one of us individual journey.
I love what you shared. And what comes to me is a lot of times, especially if we are living in the society that is not really aware, like I said, majority of the society is asleep, and it's a fortune if they will be awakened during this lifetime. If not, they would have to come back in another lifetime in another body and experience it, right? But the idea is that we do not just segregate ourselves. Okay, this is my family, and all I'm doing is just going to work, and I'm contributing somehow, and they don't even look at it as contribution, more like okay, this is something that generates income for me, so I can do something around. I can buy the house, I can send kids to the college, I can go on vacation. So these are great things, but they are very small as opposed to the vision of, like what is there for you to do, because each one of us comes with the gift. And for a lot of people, it's to discover their gift. Because for me, it just happened 7 years ago that I started to discover what I'm all about. And it has nothing to do with your education that you receive. It has nothing to do with what you are doing right now, because a lot of times we do not even tap to all our potential and what we are meant to do in this life. That's why it's so important to understand that each one of us is unique, and each one of us has added to this beautiful canvas of life. And once we discover what is something that we can contribute to this world to make it a better place, that's when the life is actually experienced on the new level, right? When we have a different sense of aliveness, different fun, different happiness level.
Hmm.
What do you think?
Yeah, I feel that we have two options in life. I feel we either embrace the potential of it and enjoy it while we do it, or let ourselves be that victim, right? Of I'm a victim of everything that is happening around me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I do agree with you. I feel there's gonna be people who are not gonna like see beyond what they they know,
Mm-hmm.
and some people will be exposed and will come at life with a sense of curiosity that will guide them to expand beyond, and in one way or another awaken to um, things happening differently for them, right?
Mm-hmm.
I do feel that each individual, right, uh, has the potential of awakening, has the potential of stepping into their power. Uh, and some people, like you said, are never going to do it in this lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
And that's okay, because that's part of evolution. That's part of what we sign up for. Some
Mm-hmm.
people, I do believe in soul contracts. And I do believe that some people come into this lifetime to be the ones that push others for the awakening, and not necessarily them. I think other people coming to, I believe other people come into this lifetime to be the guide, the people who guide others into the process, right? For
Mm-hmm.
me, it was, I think I always knew there was something special, but I, my not knowing didn't allow me to see what it was, right? I
Mm-hmm.
remember when I was still living in Puerto Rico, and I was working on certain projects. I remember I could anticipate things very easily. I could like know what was going to happen. And I don't know how I knew, but I knew what was going to
Mm-hmm.
happen. And I could anticipate business challenges very easily. Um, we always joked about it. Some of my direct reports told me I was a witch.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a crystal ball. Come on, Brenda, bring your crystal ball, bring it out. Um, and we joked about it. I didn't think too much about it at that time. However, life kept on putting challenges to me to kind of make me realize that there was more in life. I ignore every single sign. Now I know I ignore it, because now I can go back and say, oh my God, this happened here, this happened here, this happened here. I ignore all the signs because I didn't know best. And I
Mm-hmm.
feel you're guided into your path one way or another. And if
Mm-hmm.
you ignore the signs will become louder.
Totally.
And for me, it was 2016 when I have my injury, that it was like that accelerated everything, that shook everything down. And
Mm-hmm.
that's when I started to question my life purpose. Why am I here? And
Mm-hmm.
going back and looking at my story, I realized that it's really funny, because the signs had always been there. The push was always there. I just
Mm-hmm.
apparently it wasn't loud enough for me.
Mm-hmm. And I totally relate, because for me, it was a wake up call when I was on the verge of divorce 7 years ago. And that was the time when I also started to like kind of get away from the ordinary life and start asking these deep questions, right? So in other words, we are all facing these kind of moments one way or another. And you're right, majority of people do not realize these subtle signals from the universe until something drastic happens. And a lot of times people even come to that knowledge, but they are still sitting where they are. They are not willing to change or do something, but understand that sooner or later that change is going to be forced on everyone. So we are meant to change. Nobody is staying still, no matter how much we desire, because like Brenda mentioned, we are all here to grow and evolve. You either grow through the pain, or you grow consciously when you have your level of pain, but knowing that you do it because you are creating something in this moment.
Hmm. So it's funny because um, this past December, I experienced a new challenge. And I think challenges are gonna come into our life regardless of, we're in a human experience. The human experience will bring challenge. It's how we handle a challenge. It's how we become aware that this is a challenge, and then allow ourselves to experience the challenge, but not hold dear to that challenge. It's not about, okay, now I've been thrown this stone, and I need to hold dear to it because it's mine. It's okay. I've been thrown this stone, and this is actually not a stone, so I should probably take this one. I've been thrown this stone, and okay, so what? It's my learning here. How do I navigate this the best way I can?
Mm-hmm.
How do I allow myself to feel what I need to feel and be who I'm meant to be? And that was December for me. December was waking up with not being able to move my left arm at all, and with pain levels that I think they're humanly unbearable, to all of a sudden sticking to what I know and recognizing our own inner power. And it was incredible.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I mean. Your legacy has been written, because who we are meant to be in this life, it's written. How we get there, it's up to us.
Mm-hmm.
How we enjoy the ride, it's up to us. Do we want to stay stuck in a cycle of self destruction? Or do we want to step into the best version of ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
embrace the contrast, not let the contrast define who we are, but allow that contrast to help us become who we're meant to be?
Mm-hmm.
And to your point, we're not who we were even 30 seconds ago. Because just by having this conversation, we're both expanding our way of thinking.
Mm-hmm.
We're not even who we were uh,
Mm-hmm.
15 minutes before we began to have these conversations. We're not who
Mm-hmm.
we were yesterday. We were not who we were 5 years ago. We're constantly evolving. Well, by the
Mm-hmm.
same time, we're aging every single moment. So we're never going to be the same.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You know what I love about this conversation? Because, like a lot of people might think about the destiny, but destiny is actually something we are creating because we have the free will. So constantly with every choice that we are making, it's like, we are taking another path in our life, right? So there are multiple ways we can live our life, and it's up to us what kind of decision we make and what kind of choice we take in order for us to step into one pathway or another pathway. So we have multiple ways to experience this life, and free will is still there. So there is no such a thing as this is exactly who you meant to be, because it's again up to us what we are choosing. And each choice that we are making is propelling us on something else. For instance, when I was receiving my reading from the astrologer, when she looked at my natal chart, and natal chart is just the snapshot of the sky during the moment of your birth. So they look at the place you were born, they look at the time you were born, and see how the each planet was situated during your birth, because that determines a lot of factors in your life. So she told me that I meant to teach people on the massive level, but again, she did not tell me I have to be the life coach, right? Because if you
Mhm.
think about teaching people on a magnitude level, it could be a lot of different things, right? So the idea is we still have to tap to what exactly is there for us to do, right?
Absolutely.
And the more we discover, and that's the beauty, like I love that, like to be on that hunt all the time. It's like it makes that journey more exciting, it makes it more interesting, and the more information you receive, because I truly believe that we already have everything inside of us, and our souls know who we are, but it's our job to remember, like, bring that memories back to ourselves, like what who exactly I am as an essence, right? Not just identity. And then apply our skills, because if something comes to us easy, that means we already experienced this in our past lifetime, and now we mastered it. And that's why sometimes certain skills come to us as the second nature. Like for me, it's easy for me to communicate. I have no problem to talk to the strangers. I can always find something to talk about, right? Again, this is my skill that I acquire in a past life. And when there is something that's difficult for us, that means this is something we haven't experienced before. And this is something that we can always learn, right? Again, it all depends. What exactly do we want to do in this?
Absolutely. I think the way I like to describe this to people is either if you want all of this to happen in your life, it can happen with ease, or it can happen you going
With
insane
force.
with
Yes.
force and you going insanely, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
which of the two do you prefer? Do you prefer it to be a constant battle, or do you prefer it? Would you prefer it to be something that it doesn't mean you don't have to take action? You're still taking action, and you have to take action, but it's something that comes like more in alignment, more intentional,
Mm-hmm.
more like at ease, right? And that's a choice, because we're always choosing, and not choosing is actually choosing. I think a friend of
Exactly.
mine said that in a webcast I had the other day. And I think a lot of people hold dear into the fear of the unknown, right? And actually, I want to challenge that. Imagine that stepping into the unknown is actually stepping into your power. So if you
Mm-hmm.
could reframe in your mind, this unknown, it's actually my power. So how do I step into it? And I had a guest in one of my podcasts that she said, what's the difference between faith and fear?
Mm.
And faith and fear, like if you think about it, they both have an unknown factor. One we trust and jump into it, and the other one we don't. So what if you could embrace the unknown as if it was coming from a place of faith rather than coming from a place of fear?
Mm-hmm. I love what you share, and like it's so important, like to really ask ourselves, because a lot of times we are staying where we are because maybe we do not prefer that circumstances, but at least this is something familiar, right? So a lot of people are like, okay, if I leave this relationship, how is it going to be for me? So I'm too scared that I'm going to be alone, and let me just stay where I am, right? And it was actually part of my fear 7 years ago. And once, like you mentioned, we embrace, we start learning more who we are, and we start understanding that change is part of the growth. And the more you become conscious of it, the more you understand. That's why when people go through the personal development, there are a lot of things that can happen, right? Sometimes they lose their partners because they become more aware that this is not the best partner that they can have. Because
Absolutely.
now, as like it also happened in my case, although my ex husband was the one to initiate the divorce, but the more I was growing and stepping into my power, the more I realized that we were growing apart because we were not growing together. And that's exactly what happens when people go through the personal growth. They start understanding that it's okay to step into unknown, knowing that they are always going to be supported, and especially if they are surrounded by like-minded people. That's why we want to bring that event for you guys, just like to feel the community, the power of the community, right? When you understand that you do not have to deal with your problems alone, when there is lots of support, there is that space that you're welcome, there is that space that there is no judgment zone, there is that space that you are loved no matter what you're going through. This is super, super important, right? And a lot of people realize that they meant for more. A lot of people start realizing that life is so much more than whatever they are exploring. And that's the beauty of the personal growth, right? So we understand that for us to grow, we are going to shed something away that doesn't serve us, certain beliefs, certain actions, certain people. And that's okay, because that's part of the growth. And a lot of people are even scared of that, right? When you can talk to somebody and they are like, okay, I do not want to lose these friends, because if I start to grow and if I start being successful, how am I going to be around them, because they might feel that like I'm a different person, right? So there are so many different things that can come up as we are experiencing this growth, but again, they are very necessary in order for us to step into our power, realizing that we can survive through a lot of things, which until we experience something, we would never even understand that, right? Because life forces us into the situation just to show us that it's possible, and we are going to stand strong no matter what we are going through, and we are going to come on the other side even being more powerful, even be more confident, even be more resentful.
Mhm. So I want, I, as we were talking, what came up for me was, what if every experience, instead of thinking, oh my God, I'm stuck in a marriage that I don't like, I'm stuck in a job that I don't like, I don't have options because I'm the breadwinner and I'm the only one that is bringing money, I can't make this jump because it's too risky. What if every situation that you have experienced in your life is the situation that you actually needed in order to be able to step into the next step of your legacy?
Mm-hmm.
Because when we start to see, not I'm here and I don't have options, versus I'm here, this is happening not to me but for me,
Mm-hmm.
and this is bringing a lesson and this is preparing me for my next step, then you embrace it completely different. And
Yes.
then you have a choice. But it all begins with being aware, having that sense of awareness. Okay, I'm stuck in this marriage, I'm stuck in this job, or I'm stuck with friends that don't serve me, right? Whatever it is that you're stuck on, it's becoming aware. Okay, I'm stuck. What is this? What am I supposed to gain from this? And what if this is me going through this turmoil is actually guiding me to my next step in life? I think if you become curious about what those next steps are, and you become curious in terms of what you're really meant to be in this world, then you can embody that version of yourself and you can start to shift the things around you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's all about, like through quality of the questions that we are asking. The more questions we are asking, we are going to receive these quality answers that we are seeking. And it's all about just when we do something, right? When we move our energy, when we take the action step, that's where the clarity comes. Even though sometimes we might not know which direction to go, but the idea is, do not just stay stagnant still, but rather move your energy and see where it's going to take you. And of course, for a lot of people, this is something very new. And that's why we are inviting you tomorrow, which is February 12th. We are having our first audio event in Clubhouse platform. It's at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The link is there with the description. And let's just come together into the space to get to know each other and see how we can connect manifestation and breath work in order for you to tap into living more fun life, living more in excitement, and really put aside your problems, because you can create anything what you desire.
Yeah.
Brendaliz, would you like to add something before we wrap up?
No, I just, well, I don't want to say, I always say no. Why? I don't know. Uh, uh, I encourage everybody that has listened this far to become more curious about their life. And there's so many different things that you can do. Like you can go on a path of trying to explore where your purpose is and align your life to your purpose. That's something you can do. There's many techniques, there's many things that can be done. And if you don't know how to do it, you can always reach out to me. That's in my ballpark. However, I think if each one of us becomes more curious about our lives, I think then the answers to our curiosity are going to guide us to that change and transformation that we need,
Mm-hmm.
that legacy
Totally.
that we are meant to be. So be more
Mm-hmm.
curious, be extremely more curious in your life.
Mm-hmm. I love it. Awesome sauce. Thank you so much for this episode. It was very enlightening. And for everybody, register for the event that we are hosting. And you have also the links to connect with Brendaliz, to connect with me. And let's create something magical in our life, because we are actually the co creators with the universe, and we can consciously live our life the way that we desire, and we can experience another level of aliveness that we never even thought is possible. Thank you so much, and see you on the next episode. Bye.